Have you ever wondered how the moon learned to shine? Or why the clever trickster always walks away with a grin? Today, let me take you to the heart of Africa, where ancient wisdom is woven into the stars, and every shadow hides a story. This tale is one of wit, courage, and a little mischief. Get comfortable, because you're about to hear the legend of Anansi in the night sky. Long ago, before the sky was adorned with stars, the world was a much darker place. When the sun sank below the horizon, a thick blanket of shadow covered the land. Travelers lost their way, hunters dared not tread into the night, and even the creatures of the forest whispered in fear. The moon, dim and shy, tried its best to light the way, but it was never enough. Desperate, the people turned to the gods and begged Nyami, the sky god, to bring light to the darkness. Nyami agreed, but only on one condition. Someone, he said, his voice rumbling like distant thunder, must bring me the most precious treasures of the earth. Only then will I scatter the stars across the heavens. In the same village there lived a spider named Anansi. Small, clever, and impossibly bold, Anansi was known for his cunning. When he heard Nyame's challenge, he chuckled to himself. Precious treasures? Anansi thought. What could be more precious than the stories of the world? You see, in those days, all the stories were locked inside a great wooden box belonging to Nyame himself. Determined to claim the stars, Anansi spun his silken web and climbed up to the sky god's palace. When he arrived, Nyame's booming laughter echoed. "Little spider," the god said, "do you think you can earn the stars?" Anansi's many eyes glittered. "Oh, I know I can. Just tell me what I must do." Nyame smiled, but his voice grew serious. "Very well, Anansi. If you can complete 3 impossible tasks, I will grant you the stories and the stars. First, you must capture Onini, the great python who lives by the river. Second, bring Osebo, the ferocious leopard, alive. And third, trap the Momoboro, a deadly swarm of hornets. Impossible, right? But not for Anansi." Anansi's first stop was the riverbank, where Onini, the great python, lay basking in the sun. "Ah, Onini," Anansi called out, "I've been having an argument with my wife. She says you're not as long as this palm branch here, but I told her you're much longer. Care to help settle the matter?" Onini, curious and flattered, agreed. Anansi laid the branch beside the python and said, "To be sure, let me tie you to the branch so we can measure properly." Before Onini realized the trick, Anansi had bound him tightly with webbing and carried him to Nyame. Next, Anansi needed to catch Osebo, the leopard. He dug a deep pit in the forest and covered it with leaves. Late that night, Osebo came prowling. Thud! The leopard fell into the pit. Anansi peered over the edge with a sly grin. "Osebo, you look stuck. Here, let me help you." He lowered a strong vine, but as Osebo climbed up, Anansi tied the vine to a tree, trapping the leopard halfway out. With Osebo safely tangled, Anansi delivered him to Nyame. Finally, Anansi approached the hornets. He filled a hollow gourd with water and splashed it over their nest. As the angry swarm buzzed out, Anansi held a large leaf above his head. "Oh no," he cried. "It's raining. Quick, fly into my gourd for shelter." The hornets, thinking it was a storm, flew into the gourd. Anansi sealed it shut with his webbing and carried it to Nyame. When Anansi presented the python, the leopard, and the hornets, Nyame's eyes gleamed with surprise. "You have done the impossible, little spider," he said. Nyame handed Anansi the great box of stories, and the spider carried it back to the earth. When he opened the box, shimmering lights flew out, scattering across the night sky. Each story became a star, lighting the darkness and guiding the people. And so the stars were born, and Anansi's name was forever written in the heavens. And that, my friends, is how Anansi earned the stars and filled the world with stories. It's a reminder that even the smallest among us can weave greatness with a little wit and courage. If you enjoyed this tale, give it a like, share it with someone who loves a good story, and subscribe to Starlit Tales for more magical journeys. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars. You never know what story they might tell.